Today, we are going to be talking about the latest news that we have from the Warfrog team regarding Blade and Sorcery Nomad and its official release. Without further ado, let's dive into the news and dissect it. Baron kicked things off saying that he's bringing us the latest news on how the porting process is going for the Nomad's full release. And before we dive in entirely, we want to let you know that Blade and Sorcery Nomad's price will increase to $29.99 because it is technically leaving early access. So if you haven't bought the game just yet for whatever reason and are watching this video, make sure you get it now before the price increases. So Baron says the guys are working on fixing the last bad bugs in the build, and there is a trailer for the update that is in the works and will be ready very soon. He also says when they have a release candidate build that looks stable, they will drop the trailer, and the trailer will reveal the release date. So we're not going to get the actual release date until that trailer. Another cool thing that Baron points out right here, it says, hang in there, you have been patient, so quote unquote, let us cook. So we've been doing our best to make this update really awesome for Nomad players and to get it as close to the PC VR as possible, which they have proven that there is some exciting news regarding a certain map that I'll get to in just a few minutes. Baron also doubles down and says so far they are completely one-to-one in content. There are 1 or 2 Delgarian rooms that are either tethered on the edge of acceptable performance right now, and that's the only risk, but otherwise everything else seems solid for release. So let's take a look at some of these environments right here. It pretty much just looks like the PC VR version, just on a lower graphical settings, but it does seem to have its own style, which I'm appreciating. They state that to no surprise, the biggest challenge for the update has been the performance. The new environment coming to the updates are quite simply massive. And of course, the biggest culprit has to be the Quest 2 because, well, we all know the Quest 2 is not really that powerful anymore for the current year. But that's where the optimization team is coming into making sure it runs really well on the Quest 2. But the good news is that the Quest 3 is therefore performing well because of that optimization. And just taking a look at some of these environments of the pictures that Baron has included, I mean, wow, it's looking like a PC screenshot, to be real. He's also saying that overall the optimization efforts have been extensive and going very well. If you look down here, he says that they're stumbling across some occasional environmental bugs, but it's relatively calm right now and nothing game breaking. He goes on to further say that Dalgarian dungeons are now working and it's possible to play through to the end without any issues. So let's give that a soft clap for that one. And for a while, it was a bit dicey as we were experiencing crashes, but thankful those have been resolved. So what I'm getting from this statement is that it's completely playable even on the Quest 2. They are also fighting tooth and nail to make sure that these rooms are optimized rather than just having to cut them, which we always appreciate. Now on to the massive surprise that caught me completely off guard. Let's talk about the arena maps, and the big surprise is the Citadel. Yes, the Citadel, originally said to not be able to come to Blade and Sorcery Nomad, looks like the optimization team has completely pulled through, and we will be getting the full Citadel map for Blade and Sorcery Nomad on the Quest 2 and on the Quest 3. And this is not some smaller version of the Citadel. This is not just the bridge or just, the beach or something. It is the entire team. It is the entire thing. The team has refused to be beaten, and they really wanted to optimize this one. So the efforts of CDM Pants and Drags, who threw everything at this one, they got Citadel working on Nomad, and they're so pleased that players will be finally able to play this one, and it looks great. I mean, I'm excited to play this one on standalone. I have the Quest 3. I have the Quest 2, but I'm not going back to that one. But I'm excited to play it on the Quest 3 and just compare it to its PC cousin. Now, I'm sure you all are excited for that, but don't forget that the other arena maps also got a major facelift. Take a look at the canyons. You'll have like the snake guy, the new water, the new lighting, the new environments. And of course, we have changes to the market for better or for worse. My opinion, I really like the daytime market. The nighttime is cool with some cool ambiance for sure. I would have appreciated a daytime variant of it, so I don't know if that's something they could just quickly turn on and give it to everyone once the game is fully launched. But if not, the nighttime is pretty cool, but I do find myself staying away from that map. Your own opinions or whatever, but if you like that one, the nighttime one is there. Of course, the ruins have been completely changed from their quote-unquote ugly version of it back before this. You have like the new king standing there. There's a lot of like world building and lore in these new ruins. I love these new ruins. Playing on the PC is excellent. I'm telling you, explore these ruins yourself. There's things in there that looks so cool. That's all I'm going to leave it at, but I'm so happy that we are getting all of this on standalone. There also have been some major graphical improvements coming to Nomad for things like water, skyboxes, and lightning. And just take a look at this side-by-side comparison. On the left is U12. That's the player home we know and love. And you can clearly see that the water is tiled, meaning the textures have been stitched together, and you can see them repeated, especially from a far distance. And you can see where the water is touching the beach line. It's really jarring and evident. But if you look at 1.0, not only can you see in the distant planet, which I call now the PC universe from this perspective, but you now have the new skybox. The water looks excellent. The lighting looks excellent. I've played so much of 1.0 now, especially on PC, and that it looks like it. It looks like its PC counterpart, maybe with like a different post-processing on there, but it's stylized. The texture and lighting is stylized, which will stand the test of time, especially for a standalone game. Yeah, and just look at the changes to the water, especially with the reflection of the sunlight. This is going to be so cool because don't forget, you can swim in this game and go under the water. And in Nomad prior, when you went into the water, it was the horrifying experience. This is going to be a different horrifying experience in a good way. So I have fun swimming around in this game. And I like this little joke that he included. It feels impossible to look at the U12 water now. That's what we were saying, but I'm glad that we have updated water. Now, they also gave us a little video to kind of take a look at here. So let's just take a quick peek at this. I've turned the sound off, but we can look at the biggest difference. This is Nomad 1.0. Granted, they are recording this one in portrait mode. I guess Baron didn't get my hint when I told him I can show him how to record it better, but I'm not going to hold that against you. But look at this. This is 1.0 for Nomad. Much different graphics. This is crazy. And you can also see the old ruins versus the new ones, and the old market versus the new market. I'm very excited for everyone to get their hands on this. So let's now talk about the spells and skills. The good thing is that all 78 skills across 5 branches of the skill tree are here. There's no number crunching. There's no anything. You just have pure skills. So if you haven't even seen gameplay of 1.0 from PC, and this is the first time you're hearing about it, you have skills. Everything from fire magic that can evolve, weapon enhancements. Well, I shouldn't say weapon enhancements. It's more like personal skills that you can use while using the weapons too. And they actually said that the porting has been surprisingly okay. Everything ported over without too much issue. The only exception being the hyper focus skill, which had some shader wonkiness, but they found a solution for that, which is great. I love hyper focus. You will also. Now let's talk about the VFX. Of course, on the PC VR, it can handle much greater fidelity. So the spells will always look better because of that. So if they kept it as is and just ported those effects, it would have just crashed the Quest, even the Quest 3. So in terms of that, they did have to scale back. So volume of particles are the main thing that's going to be different in the PC VR version versus the Nomad version, which we expected. But I'm still thinking it looks, from these screenshots, I know there's screenshots, but it still looks pretty decent. I'm excited to get my hands on them and truly see what it looks like in game. And outside of just them looking pretty cool, don't forget they have functionality. So fire burns things, it can char corpses, lightning can shock things, and gravity blasts them. So once again, we are going to be excited to use that. Now onto the weapons and armors. There's been no issues. The full release updated with 76 weapons and 90 individual armor pieces that comprise of 10 full sets, and everything is ported over. So in weapons, there's no porting issues whatsoever. So get ready to have all these fancy weapons, from the new bows, swords, axes, and of course, these brutal mallets. Now moving on, we of course have the lore. So one of the most highly anticipated additions to the full release is the inclusion of the long-awaited lore in the universe for Blade and Sorcery. So without spoiling too much, you will meet someone, and there's also lore pieces to find and world build. No, there's not really going to be NPCs to talk to and say, hey, I'm doing this, and a narrator of any kind. But you will find pieces of lore that you will stitch together. And that's all I want to say about that one, because it's really something you want to experience as a player, but definitely get excited for that. Now, here's something really exciting. Of course, PC VR has this now, but when it first came out, the AI for 1.0 was bad. I'm just going to say it. It was bad. And I've had conversations with them in the past about this one. So now the improved AI that Blade and Sorcery just recently fixed was the 1.04 patch. It's going to be ready and launched with the game. So Nomad is launching with the best version of Blade and Sorcery in a while. And that's the benefits of coming out second, versus the PC one. So not only are you going to get all these new skills, weapons, and lore and stuff, the new AI is something else, man. They can combo and dodge. Get ready to have not only just magic fights, but amazing sword fights that will keep you on your toes. Trust me. They can chain attacks, they can parry, they can riposte, they have better range finding and better improvements overall, like shield bashing. Just get ready for that one. Now, Baron talks about the shop. As part of the Crystal Hunt full release, they included a shop for players to buy and sell. It's also included the first ever voice NPC who will set you up on your own quest. So I'm not going to go into too much detail with the shop. Just know it is a main feature of the game. It's where you're going to essentially buy and sell the loot that you find, new weapons, new armor, so on and so forth. And it's an own biome in and of itself. So explore that to your heart's content. Now, in the Delgarian dungeon, there is a Golem. I'm sure you guys know about that one, but this is pretty much a boss in Blade and Sorcery. Rather than critique anything about it, I will say that you do fight this boss more than one time, and they do get more and more powerful with some different moves, but expect to fight this rock golem more than once and learn their strategies. And once you've learned the strategies, well, you'll probably be a master. But the good thing is the golem fight will have a one-to-one feature parity with PCVR, where you can climb on him as you're fighting him, as he does all of his special attacks and behaviors. So that's great. Now, basically, they're saying, where is the release? So this is the final sprint. So as Baron mentioned, the team are just working to make sure the release candidate is in a stable, and once they are confident to be able to post a trailer, they will give the release date. Don't forget that Meta/Oculus, they're more hardcore about releases than releasing something on Steam. So there's way more things to get approval on. So keep that in the forefront of your mind as Warfrog tries to get this out. So that's pretty much the news and everything expected for Nomad. I have a feeling like this is right around the corner, so don't stray too far. Keep this in the front of your brain stem, because I have a feeling we're going to get Blade and Sorcery Nomad 1.0 very soon. But before I leave you, there's one more thing that the Baron posted that I want to take a quick look at. It's this little adorable video. It shows something the team themselves, but let's take a peek. This is a short little video that they put together, but you get to actually see some of the team members for Warfrog, and they explain some of these things. So I'm just going to let this run and just enjoy.
We've managed to get almost perfect feature parity between PC and Nomad. Even stuff that we thought was going to pose some problems, it's been a breeze, honestly, to transfer it over. Everything's just kind of worked really well. Much better than we expected it to.
It's very exciting trying to feed everything we did on the PC version on the standalone helmet.
We sort of had an idea of what we wanted in terms of, we want these trees and we want, this much stuff in each tree, and I sort of went, okay, what about we do this much stuff in each tree? Fire is ridiculous now. You can ignite everything, you can set people on fire, you can char their corpses. Stuff like controlling people with gravity tethers, firing flamethrowers from your staff. Every skill tree, every spell has gotten a huge upgrade.
And there we have it, my friends. That is the latest news from Warfrog regarding Blade and Sorcery Nomad's 1.0 full release. Stay tuned as we wait for that trailer, hopefully extremely soon, when we get to see full gameplay and an actual official release date. Let me know what you guys are the most excited about in the comment section down below. And if you're new to downloadable content, why not subscribe? It is literally free to do so. Leave a comment to let me know you were here. But other than that, I'm Drifter from Downloadable Content, and I will see you next time.